You see, today we're spoiled. Games are like movies. There's cutscenes, constant dialogue, and interactions between characters that allow for a story arc. Games today are almost like watching an interactive movie. Sure, you shoot guns here and there, drive around, and possibly kill a dude or two, but overall, you're watching a film develop and unfold. And that's sort of how they're produced nowadays. They want to hook you in with a captivating story and will spend a ton of resources into that alone, leaving the core gameplay to be an afterthought. And if you think about it, no one looks at a Super Nintendo game and says they played it for its story. Those games were played strictly by gameplay. And that's about true for the N64. I mean, sure, Mario 64 has a story, but not really much different to what is normally the story arc. And you might say Ocarina of Time has an amazing story with beautiful cinematics for the time, but a lot of it is told through text. And I mean, I get it, it's a huge game. I'm sure you would only be able to fit so many voice clips into a 64 megabyte cartridge. So not many games got to develop their characters' plot lines or story arcs. There was one game that did exactly this. It may not be as in your face as something like The Last of Us, but through subtle voice clips and scripted pathways, one game did just that. Starfox 64. If you were like me, you didn't understand what this all meant. I never played Starfox on the SNES, so I had nothing to go on. All I knew is that these were a team of pilots and an emergency has called them to take flight and fight some sort of evil, I assumed. And then we cue to the main screen. So the fortunate thing about Starfox 64 is that it was a relatively simple game. So it had room for voice clips. In that voice clip, we get the introduction.
Corneria, fourth planet of the Lylat system. The evil Andross turned this once thriving system into a wasteland of near extinction. General Pepper of the Cornerian army was successful in exiling this maniacal scientist to the barren, deserted planet Venom. 5 years later, General Pepper noticed strange activity coming from Venom. James McCloud, Pigma Dangar, and Peppy Hare of the Starfox team were sent to investigate. Upon their arrival, Pigma betrayed the team, and James and Peppy were captured by Andross. Peppy barely escaped Venom and returned home to tell James' son, Fox, about his father's fate. A few years have passed. Andross has again invaded the Lylat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Starfox team headed by Fox McCloud to save Corneria and free the Lylat system once again.
The Lylat system. Just like that, you are presented with the entire Lylat system in which you must traverse in order to reach Venom, to save the Lylat system, strengthen your team members, and kill the man who killed your father. The story has unfolded. First, of course, is saving Corneria. Within the first level, you get a taste of who these characters are. Peppy, being the experienced pilot and sort of the father of the group, tends to give that old guy vibe.
Slippy, get back here!
He's of course from James's Starfox team and therefore knows quite a bit from airfighting. Usually new techniques you learn are taught by Peppy himself.
Do a barrel roll!
He is out to teach his friend's son to be as good of a pilot as his father, James McCloud, was. Slippy, he's not exactly the muscle of the group.
Fox, get this guy off me!
He's a little naive, and the assumption here is that Slippy is the new guy and really inexperienced. However, Slippy is also the new brains of the group, responsible for the new tech, new vehicle, and enemy analysis.
This baby can take temperatures up to 9,000 degrees.
So he definitely has his place, he's just a bit on the cowardly side. Falco, he's cocky, we all know that.
Scratch one bogey.
In this first level, he definitely shows us how appreciative he is of us pulling him out of a jam.
I guess I should be thankful.
He's arrogant, and you can tell throughout the story, he wants to be the leader himself. He shows that many times by attempting to talk down to Fox during missions. He's still a good guy at heart, and you can see that by the end of level 1.
You okay over there, Fox?
And Fox, the young man who lost his father to Andross. He's really taken the wings his father left and became a strong leader.
I see him up ahead. Let's rock and roll!
He's saving his teammates, taking the arrogance in stride, and commanding his team to victory.
We're gonna break through that fleet.
As you progress into the asteroid field, you can see Peppy's experience showing.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
The man knows when danger is coming. Hell, he was ambushed and nearly killed before. I'm sure he's hiding his senses toward this type of scenario. And yet, Immediately after, you see Peppy show his age.
They're on me! I'm getting careless!
He's not as graceful as a pilot as he once was. However, that doesn't stop him from trying to make Fox a better pilot.
Just shoot it, Fox!
Falco once more shows us just how snobby he can be.
I guess it's your turn to be
Of
thanked.
course, he's still attempting to return a favor, but there's an internal struggle he has in knowing Fox is a leader and in how badly he doesn't believe Fox should be that. Slippy is shown trying to break out of his shell by being a little overconfident, and although we're responsible for saving him, we let him boost his own ego, as leaders tend to do. At the end, he's shown trying to convince himself and his team that he's worthy of being there.
I'm fine, I'm fine.
The story has strengthened these character arcs. Peppy is looking to train James' son to defeat Andros and rid himself of internal guilt. Falco doesn't respect Fox as an authority figure. He sees Fox as weak and not worthy of being in charge. So much so, he doesn't want help from Fox, and even offers his own type of leader support. Slippy definitely starting to show signs of life here, but overall still naive, inexperienced, and unable to make calculated plays. Oh yeah, and of course Rob. He's a robot. There's not much to say here. Starfox is then sent to Fortuna. They're sent to stop Andros' fighter from destroying a planet, but this has a very key moment to the plot. We meet this crew.
Can't let you do that, Starfox.
Andros has ordered us to take you down.
Peppy, long time no see.
Ooh, Pigma, what an awful pig. This guy alone is responsible for the death of James McCloud by betraying Starfox, and of course, Peppy was next. That definitely has to cut deep. During this dogfight, he also mentions a line, "That reward's as good as mine." So he did it for money. Both his teammates' lives were worth money. They've done a solid way of letting us hate Pigma, even more than Wolf. And as we eliminate Pigma,
My beautiful reward!
scumbag. Sector Z has one really important detail to consider. You're here to find a secret weapon that Andros has created and make sure he can't use it. The weapon turns out to be a robot with human-like features. And come to think of it, during this level you were actually able to catch glimpses of it. This was a method of foreshadowing this boss that the developers implemented. You know, it's things like that that make this video unable to do justice to the entirety of this game. I strongly recommend picking this one up to really digest it all. It's also on the Nintendo Online subscription pass currently and will probably be in the next video I make, so check that out. Regardless, this would be the first and only boss to do a fake out. During the encounter, you rob him of all life points, but he regenerates. And Slippy does the unthinkable.
Let me handle this.
Slippy, get back here! Slippy!
Poor kid. He just wants to be accepted by the gang and prove himself, and he unfortunately gets launched out of orbit onto Titania.
Slippy can be such a headache.
You said it best, Falco, but this is where his personality really shines.
I think you look better in a tank. Why don't you come down here, Falco? I'll pass.
Falco, you're so rude, but this line catches me. Indeed, Falco is the one risking his life on the tank and the ground. As Starfox progresses, they find Slippy, and Slippy is being held by a boss. As Fox destroys the arms to get him free of the grip, he shows one of his true purposes, analyzing data from bosses. In fact, he's the only one that can do this, and he's actually responsible for the Landmaster and Submaster, which I can't touch on in this video, unfortunately. As we finish the mission, we see, maybe Falco ain't such a bad guy, just ruffling feathers, as always. Or maybe he's growing more in line with the thought of being with the team rather than being rebel. After saving Slippy, Starfox heads towards Macbeth. The plan? Take out the enemy convoy filled with army weapons in order to weaken Andros' firepower. Outside of the mission, this would be a turning point for the team. Fox is once again in the Landmaster and everyone else is providing cover and guidance from above. This would be the first time the Starfox team runs as a unit rather than separate individuals with the same uniform. Towards the end, with guidance from the team, Fox sends the boss towards the true ending, allowing the train to collide with the weapons building and blowing it to high hell. Andros has taken a big hit with that victory. And as it is the first time the team has performed well together, we also get these unique lines during the end of the mission.
I can see the look on their stupid faces.
I'm sure we heard him this time. Now it's our turn to kick some tail.
Alas, they're becoming one, and the Starfox team is becoming a force to be reckoned with. Area 6, Defense Station. This is the big one. The area right before Venom. And Andross' Air Force team is not playing around. The team, although tighter now, is in distress during this encounter. And as a leader, it's up to Fox to save his team's hides. This will cement in the storyline Fox's true leadership skills. It is up to him to save his comrades and break through the air defense force. And as Starfox reaches the final boss, the team works together to destroy the Air Force's most strongest weapon. They, as a unit, now move forward. The final chapter would be Venom, but not the way that you're thinking. It's actually Venom 1 and then Venom 2. Strange, I know, but this makes the most amount of sense canonically. Venom is the homeworld of Andross. Fox has successfully made it across the Lylat system and now is heading into the hell of it all to take on Andross and avenge his father. Here we go. It is a bullet hell from the start, and an important thing to note is Falco saying this line.
Don't go dying on me.
Now he says this for two reasons. One, the obvious is Falco knows how dangerous this mission is, and two, he realizes what this means for Fox and what it means for himself. He doesn't want Fox to die on Andross' turf the way his father did, because throughout this journey, Fox has become somewhat of a friend to him. He still doesn't completely have faith in Fox, but he doesn't wish him ill any longer. Slippy comes into his own in the last chapter. After Sector X, something happened to him. He's now taking charge and thinking intelligently about what he's doing. Slippy is becoming formidable. He's still a kid at heart, but he's confident and able to make his way through. And Peppy is becoming proud of the man Fox is becoming.
You're becoming more like your father.
So similar to his own father. And Andross.
Those tin cans are no match for me.
Fox gets his first interaction with the man who killed James McCloud. A mere taunt as Starfox rushes into the last boss. After defeating that, they head into Venom 2. This is the heart of Venom and the final battle with Andross.
Say your prayers, Andross. Don't get too cocky, Starfox.
Let's see how you handle our new ships.
Too bad Dad's not here to see you fail.
Ah, you fucking asshole. God damn, I hate this motherfucker. Starfox has their final battle with Starwolf. They recovered from the encounter in Fortuna with better ships and scars to match. Working as a team, Starfox manages to completely eviscerate Starwolf as Wolf's last cry is,
No way! I don't believe it!
"This time, you lose." As the encompassing finale approaches, Fox makes the decision to face Andross alone. After all, who else but Fox to avenge his father, James? It's all been leading up to this moment. Fox flies through a long corridor to hear Andross speak to him once more.
I've been waiting for you, Starfox.
He taunts him as he gets closer. Andross is hungry to kill Fox, the same way he did his own father. And we meet him, finally. Andross, a mad scientist, has turned himself into a giant. As a floating head and hands, Fox is now looking into the eyes of the beast who left him a bastard. After an arduous battle, Fox defeats him. But not so. It is only Andross revealing his true form. A grotesque visual of gray matter and oculus optic nerves. This is the monster hell-bent on taking over the galaxy. Fox must destroy him. As he lands a final hit to his cerebellum, he lets out a final message to you. I will leave you here to embrace this moment and pick up soon afterwards.
If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Don't ever give up, my son.
Father?
Follow me, Fox.
James McLeod. He has spoken to his son in an effort to wake him from a certain demise that he went through himself.
This way, Fox.
And in an effort to save his son, he guides him through the chambers of Andros.
Never give up. Trust your instincts.
The words Pepe has spoken before now have an origin, a gift of encouragement from the former leader of Starfox.
You've become so strong, Fox.
Fox has defeated Andros, saved Lylat, and avenged his father. And he's proud of Fox. Pepe breathes a sigh of relief, Slippy cheers, and Falco has embraced the leader that Fox is.
That's our leader.
Although I left out quite a bit on the cutting room floor, that, my friends, is the way to develop a character with limited tools and technology. From a gang of vigilante forces, each with major flaws, to a son who has successfully superseded his father's shoes, avenged his murder, saved the galaxy, and found a team he could entrust with his life. A friend with guilt who spent so long in turmoil. His relief wasn't just to see Fox okay, it was to know that James had been avenged, that he did well by his friend in training and helping raise his son, and that he too can relish in the victory of defeating Andros. A new kid who learned to step out of being naive, from a fragile pilot to one who makes decisions on which routes to take and what enemies to take on. Becoming more than a weapons manufacturer and data analysis, he is now a fighter pilot too. And a rival who aspired to rebel against his own team and grew to accept a new leader, to fight for a friend, and to understand that his leader has great care in taking him under his own wing. Fox, Pepe, Slippy, Falco. This is the Starfox team.